So today's going to be a different kind of video. Right now on the Smogon OU ladder, they're going to be discussing a ban of Dracovish. I am in support of this ban. I believe that Dracovish is not broken, but it should be banned. Now first, I want to look at the usage stats. The whole story does not tell the usage stats, of course. Just because a Pokemon is used a lot doesn't mean that it deserves to be banned. Dracovish, on the other hand, is one of the top 10 most used Pokemon. That alone doesn't tell you that it needs to be banned. But one thing that is important to note that gives you a very clear understanding of why it should be banned is Seismitoad. Seismitoad is not the 4th best Pokemon this generation, but it is the 4th most used Pokemon this generation because of Dracovish. If you do not have a Dracovish answer on your team, or a Water Absorb Pokemon that directly counters Dracovish, you are losing. Unless you outplay your opponent, you are putting yourself at a deficit by not having a Water Absorb Pokemon on your team. That is why you are seeing more Pokemon like Vaporeon, Gastrodon, which should not be used on the OU ladder, but they're still being used in somewhat frequent use. But now we're going to look at the 2 sets that are used. First, we have Choice Scarf. This is the most common set on the ladder. But just because it's the most common doesn't mean that's the only set you have to prepare for. This set, at most, does 49% to a Toxapex. This set at most does around 40% to a Ferrothorn. But those Pokemon do not answer this Pokemon because of the Bandit set that is still popular. The Choice Band set does around 50 to 60 to Toxapex and Ferrothorn. Now, yes, the Choice Scarf set is used probably around 70% of the time. But that 30% of the time, if it is banded, you just lost your answer to Dracovish. That's why you're forced to run a Water Absorb Pokemon. That way you're not swept by Dracovish in the end. Now there is one more set that can be used. Ignore the item. It is a substitute set. It's not common. It can Life Orb, it can Leftovers, whatever. But it's still worth noting. But regardless, you have Choice Scarf and Choice Band. Seismitoad does not allow a Choice Scarf or a Choice Band Dracovish to do anything. With Protect, Seismitoad is just gonna Leftovers, it's just going to recover off the damage. Then you can switch into something that takes advantage of any coverage moves it uses. If it uses Outrage, you're gonna switch into your Fairy type or Steel type. If it uses Crunch, you're gonna go into one of your Pokemon that resists that. If it uses Psychic Fangs, you go into a Dark type. Basically, you know Dracovish is locked in 90% of the time. Now, if Dracovish were to be banned, and this is kind of why I want it to be banned, if Dracovish was banned, Seismitoad would go down in use, and we'd be able to use more interesting Pokemon. You'd be able to use more diversity on your teams. Do I think that Pokemon should be banned just for the sake of using diversity? No. But if you have to think to yourself, I need to run a Water Absorb Pokemon only for Dracovish, there's a problem with team building then. Clefable is at 45% usage rate. I don't think Clefable should be banned. You can play around Clefable, and you're not going to get swept by a Clefable unless it's a setup set. But Dracovish, if your Seismitoad gets any damage on it, if your Gastrodon gets any damage on it, if your Vaporeon, if your Lapras, if your Water Absorb Pokemon gets any damage on it, if Toxapex gets any damage, Ferrothorn, they're no longer an answer to Dracovish, and you just lost to Dracovish. But Clefable, you can wear it down because people switching Clefable on everything. You can wear down Clefable to a point where it no longer has ability to switch in on anything. But what I'm excited for is a Dracovish less meta, where you can use Toxtricity. You can use almost every other electric type that came out this gen. What do we have here? We have Rotom Heat and we have Zeraora. Those are the only viable ones in this meta because of Seismitoad. And that's only because they can punish the switch. Now, if we didn't have the Seismitoad at number 4 usage, you can use Dracozolt more. You can use not going to be using Pikachu. You can use Helios if you want. You can use Rotom Wash if you wanted. Toxtricity. It's just there's more opportunities for fun Pokemon if there isn't Seismitoad at number 4 usage to counter Dracovish. Now, the thing that I am worried about with banning Dracovish is that we're getting to a point where it's constant suspect test after suspect test on the OU ladder. We had, let's see the list of all the bans. So, Sword and Shield OU bans. Okay. So we start out with quick banning Shadow Tag. Makes perfect sense. Quick ban Moody makes perfect sense. Banning Dynamax and Gigantamax, I agreed with that. I think that those were too broken. Kyurem Black and Melmetal. Kyurem Black was a little too strong with Ice Sphere. Melmetal, I agree with the ban. I think that it was just too strong. Arena Trap. Arena Trap was something that was banned last year too, or last gen, and I'm okay with that because you're forced to run bad items that are just going to break down your team composition, and you don't get to actually enjoy the game. Now, we're having almost a suspect test every single month, which means that there's a broken Pokemon almost every month. Instead of the meta adapting to that Pokemon in a way that's enjoyable for people, we're kind of in a position that it's dictating what you can run before you even want to build a team. And that's just before we're getting the DLC. With the 2 DLCs coming, we're going to have constant meta shifting. So there's never going to be a stable meta in the OE metagame. But at least for the next month, until the DLC comes out, I think without Dracovish in this meta, we can have a lot more fun. The thing I am worried about is stall. If banning Dracovish allows stall to become the most dominant force in OU, this is going to be a mistake. But I think that that's a risk we have to take. If for the fact that having a meta dictated by Seismitoad and Dracovish/Dracovish answers is just unhealthy and unfun. But leave your comment down below on what you think should happen with Dracovish. If you think it should be made into sushi, go ahead. Leave a like, follow, subscribe, follow me on Twitter for any updates, and make sure to follow Twitch for I'm probably going to be streaming this week to try getting Rexed in order to vote on Dracovish being banned or not. Hope you guys have a nice day.